This is a short class on Shofa Nidana. So the term Shofa indicates swelling or edema. So whenever we go through our classical textbooks, there are two or three terms that are being used to identify a swelling. For example, there is a term Shodha and there is a term Shofa. So again, there is if you go through Susra Samhita, he speaks about something called as Vrana Shofa. So what we have to keep in mind is that the concept of Vrana Shofa is different from a pathology that causes swelling or edema in a body part in comparison to Vrana Shofa, which indicates a localized one, most probably an abscess. So the term Vrana Shofa indicates a suppurative process where there is a localized abscess formation, and when it ruptures it forms into something like a vrana or ulcer. But this shofa or shodha indicates edema. Again, we have to consider that this shofa doesn't include swellings that are localized to joints, because those pathologies will come under the concept of amavada or vadarakta, and it doesn't come under the purview of shofa. So when we deal about shofa, we have to think about pathologies that leads to swelling or edema in a body part as a whole, or a full-fledged full body edema or anasarka. So that is shofa. So the definition itself is utsedha samarthyat shofam, or the pratyatma lakshana is utsedha samarthyat shofam. So that whenever there is an utsedha, an elevation in the body part, then it is shofa. The classification is again of different types. For example, depending upon the nidana, the shofa is classified into nija and agandu. Agandu is again classified into abhigataja and vishaja. Depending upon the adhisthana or the localization, it's either sarvanga or eganga. Depending upon the swabhava or characteristic feature of the swelling, it is again prudhu, unnada or gradhida. So these are the classifications. So for in this picture we can see that there is a swelling, there is a localized swelling of the right upper limb, that too forehand. So this is an eganga shofa. Again, this is another example of a eganga shofa where the patient has swelling only in the right lower limb. Further, the classification is according to the dosha predominance. So according to the dosha predominance and nidana, it's classified into 9: Vadaja, Pittaja, Kaphaja, Samsargaja 3, then Sannipadaja, Abhigataja and Vishaja. Depending upon the avastha of shofa, again it's classified into Ama and Pakwa. Basically, it's a Tridosha disease where Vada is more predominant. So Kapha and Pitta are Sanjita doshas, and Vada can be considered as a Preraka dosha here. Dushya, even though Mamsa etc. will come as a Dushya, the predominant Dushya are Rasa and Rakta. The Sroto Dushti is Sangha and Vimarga Gamana, and the Roga Marga is Bahya and Abhyandara. So this is a Nidana as explained in Ashtanga Hridaya. Vyadi Karma Ubhavasadi Kshinasya Bhajado Drudam Adimatra Adha Anyasya Guru Amla Snigdha Sheetalam Lavana Kshara Tikshnoshna Shagambu Swapna Jagaram Mrudgrame Mamsa Valloram Ajirna Shrama Maithunam Padadir Marga Gamanam Yanena Kshopinabiva Shwasa Kasa Adisara Arsho Jadhara Pradara Jwaraha Vishuchi Alasagachardi Garbha Visarpa Pandavaha Anyecha Mityopakrandas Tair Dosha Vakshasistitaha Urdham Shofam Adho Vastu Madhye Kurvandi Madhyagaha Sarvangaga Sarvagadam Pratyangeshu Tadashrayaha. So there are various nidanas through which shofa can manifest. One is due to an ongoing vyadhi or improper treatment of a vyadhi. Then karma, here it is panchakarma apachara, ubhavasadi, kshinasya. So whenever a patient is debilitated by either a vyadhi or panchakarma or ubhavasadi karmas, and when the patient, such an individual undergoes Adimatram Adha Anyasya Guru Amla Snigdha Sheedalam. So either the improper management of a disease, an improperly administered Panchakarma therapy, or if the patient is debilitated due to any of these factors, and if the patient undergoes Guru Amla Snigdha Sheedala, Lavana, Kshara, Tikshna, Ushna, then Shaga, excessive Shaga, then Ambu, excessive water intake, Sopna, Diva Supna, Jagara is Ratri Jagarana, then Mrud, Gramya Mamsa, Vallura, Ajirna, Shrama Maidhunam, then excessive walking, Padaderga, Marga Gamanam, Yanena Kshobinabhiva, if the patient undergoes jerky journey, excessive. Then, just like we have seen in Shwasa, where some of the disorders can lead to Shwasa, in Shofa also, there are some disorders that can lead to Shofa as an Upadrava. That is why Shwasa, Kasa, Adisara, Arsho, Jadhara, Pradhara, Jara. Actually, this Jadhara is Udara. And Udara and Shofa are closely related pathologies. Actually, some of the Acharyas considers Udara under the spectrum of Shofa itself. So that is Arsho, Jadhara, then Pradhara is Rakta Pradhara, Jwaraha, Vishujiga, Alasaga, Chardi, Garbha. We know that in Garbhani also there are chances of edema. Pandu is again one of the important complications of Pandu apart from Kamala is Shofa. Anyecha Mithyobakrandaha. Other conditions also, if they are improperly managed, then the doshas can get vitiated and lead to Shofa. And if the Shofa is accumulated, if the doshas are accumulated in the Vaksha Pradesha, Rura Pradesha, then the Shofa will manifest in the Urdhva Bhaga of the Sharira. Then if it is in the Vasti, then the Shofa will manifest in the Adho Bhaga of the Sharira. And if the doshas are in the Madhyama, then it causes Madhyagada Shofa. And if the doshas are circulated all over the body, or the abnormal dosha sanjaya occurs all over the body, then the patient can have Sarvanga Shofa. Then the Samprati is Pitta, Rakta, Kafan, Vayu, Dushto, Dushtan, Bahisira. So Dushto Vayu causes Dushti of Pitta, Rakta and Kafa, and it takes into the Bahisiras, Nitva, Bahisiraha, Ruddhagadihi, and gets obstructed by this Pitta and Kapha itself. And Tairhi, that is why the Vata can get obstructed. When the Vata takes along this Pitta and Kapha and it travels, then it gets obstructed by this Pitta and Kapha. And it in Tung Mamsa Ashraya, it produces Utsedham, elevation, Samhadam, that means there is something like concentrated in one area, that is Samhadam, Shofam, Tamahu, Nijayat. Nijayat means Sannibhadat. So basically, the Shofa is a Sannibhadaja pathology where Vata is more predominant. Sarvam Hedu Vishesha is to Rubha Veda Navatmakam. So it's of 9 types. That is Doshai, Prudak, Dvaye, Sarve, Abhigada, Vishadabi. This classification we have already explained. Dvidava, Nijamagandum, then Sarvanga, Egangajan. So there are 2 types of classifications. That is 1-2 type is Nija and Agandu, another 2 type is Sarvanga and Eganga, and another 3 type is Pradu, Unnada, Gridida. So this is what happens. That is Vada Dushti, Pitta Kapha Rakta Dushti, Vimarga Gamana to Bahisira, then Pitta Kapha Rakta causes Sangha to the Vada, Niruddha Gadi of Vada, and results in Dravaruba, Dosha Sankhada in that area, leading to Shofa. And the Shofa is Togmamsa Ashraya. Next is the Puraruba. Tat Purarubam Davadhu Sirayamo Anga Gauravam. So there is Davadhu. Davadhu is a feeling as if there is some burning sensation going on in that area. Then Sirayamo. So there is appearance of Sira in that area. And Anga Gauravam, heaviness. So there are opinions that these 3 features can happen in particular doshas. For example, Davadu in case of Pitta and Siraya, Ama in case of Vada, and Angagaura in case of Kapha. But anyway, this Shofa is a 3-dosha pathology, so these features can occur together as well. Samanya Rupa is explained in Charaka Chikilsa Shofadigara as Sagauravam Syat anavastidatvam sa utseda ushmadha siratanutvam sa lomaharshascha vivarnadacha samanilingam shwetho pradishtam. So I have explained already that utseda samarthya at shofam. So utseda is the pratyatma lakshana. These are the common manifestations irrespective of the dosha predominance. That is samanya rupa. Gaurava, anavastidatva, then utseda, ushma, then tanutva of the siras, loma harsha, and vivarnada of that area as are the samanya lakshanas. Next is the each of the dosha predominance in shofa. So according to the typical doshas, the lakshanas can vary. So that is why in Vadaja shofa, Vada, shofa, chalo, rukshaha, khara roma, arunasida, sangoja, spanda, harsha, arti, toda, bheda, prasuptiman, kshiprotana prashamaha, shigra munnamed pididastanu, snigdoshna mardane shamyat, ratra valpo diva mahal, twakcha, sarshava lipteva, tasmis chimichimayade. So if in a given patient with a shofa, if Vata dosha is predominant one, the patient will have the following features. So the shofa is chala, that means fluctuating. Then ruksha and khararoma, ruksha, khararoma. Then aruna tinge will be there in that affected area. Asita is something that is opposite to white. That is with khararoma, aruna, asitaha. Then sankoja. So these are different types of pain that can happen to the patient in the affected area when Vada is predominant. Sankoja, spanda, harsha, arti, toda, bheda, and prasupti. Prasupti is numbness. Another important feature is kshiprothana prashamaha. The manifestation will be fast, then the shamana also will be fast. And if you try for whether the edema is pitting or not, shigra munnamed pedidastanu. So when you press in that affected area, it comes back immediately. So that is why shigra munnamed pedidastanu. It's a pitting edema itself, but it's a what you call as fast pitting edema. That means you press it, there will be pitting, but it comes back very fast. So here again it's relative, because if you assess pitting edema, in case of kapha, if you press it, then it takes more time to get back, but in Vada it is very fast. But in some others they say that kapha is non-pitting and Vada is pitting. That is not the case. We will see that in the Kaphaja shofa. Then also you can, if at all these features are not evident in the patient properly, then you can go for upashaya and upashaya. So that is why Acharya says snigdha ushna mardanehi shamyat. So if you apply snigdha and ushna and you do mardana, then the shofa will come down. And another important feature is timing of the shofa in relation to the day. So ratra valpo diva mahan. We know that in ratri kapha is more predominant, so Vada cannot move properly, so the shofa is mild. And in the daytime, since kapha is less, then the Vada can travel fast, so that the shofa is more. So this is ratra valpo diva mahan. Tukcha sarshava lipteva tasmis chimichimayade. So there is a feeling of chimichimayana on the tuk, as if you have applied a paste of sarshava. So this, if you see these features in the patient, then you have to identify that it is a Vada predominant shofa. Next is Pittaja shofa. Pitta, Rakta, Asidha Abhasaha. So he says about the color. Then Atamra Roma Krit. Then the Roma will have a coppery tinge. Shikranusara Prashamo. In Vada he told Kshiprotana Prashamo. Here again Shikranusara. Again it's fast in its manifestation and subsidence. Madhya Prag Jayade Tanu. And it usually manifests in the Madhya Pradesh of the Sharira. And there will be constitutional features like Trishna, Daha, Jwara, then Sweda, Dava. Dava is again Davadu. Kleda, Mada, Brahma. Then Shida Apilashi, because the Pitta is predominant, the patient craves for the opposite guna, that is Shida Apilashi. Bit Bedi, there is Adhisara. Gandhi, there is foul smelling. Sparsha Saho, the patient will have severe tenderness in that area. Sparsha Saho, and the shofa will be Mrudu. So these are the features of Pittaja shofa. Next is Kaphaja shofa. Kanduman. So there is, it is itchy, Panduroma, Tuk. So again whitish tinge. Then Kadhinaha, the swelling is hard. Shidalo, and it's Guru, heavy. snigdha, slekshnaha, stiraha, sthano, as if it is sticky. Nidra, chardi, agni sadakrit, constitutional features like excessive sleep, vomiting, agni mandya, and akrando, no namet, so that if you press it, it will not come back, as you have seen in Vada. Krichra Shama Janmaha, it takes more time to manifest and it takes more time to subside as well. Nishabalaha, we have seen Vada, it is Divabala, in Kapha it is Nishabala. Srave Nasrik, Chirat Picham, Kusha Shastradi Vikshadaha. So that if you make a puncture in that affected area with the Kusha, Shastra, etc., usually there will not be Rakta Pravartana. Instead of that, Chira Picham. So with much time there will be a Srava, just like a clear fluid, that is Picha. Sparsha Ushna Kamshi, the patient wants or desires for Ushna Sparsha, and that is these are the features of Kafaja Shofa. Yathaswam Dundaja Strahin Dundaja, the features will be mixed. Then Sankara Hedulingana Nijaya Nijayatmaka. In Sannipadaja, the features will be all together. So that is regarding Vadaja, Pittaja and Kafaja Shofas. So if you make it into a table form, the nature in Vada is Chala and Ruksha, Mrudu and Sparsha, Saha and Pitta, Kadhina and Guru in Kapha, color Aruna and Krishna, Pida and Rakta, Pandu in Kapha. Onset is sudden in Pitta and Vada but delayed in Kapha. Associated symptoms include pain and numbness, Daha and Jwara in Pitta, Chardi and Mandagni in Kapha, Upashaya, Snigdha Ushna Upashaya, Shida Upashaya in Pitta, and Ushna Upashaya in Kapha. And aggravation, Vada is more predominant in the daytime, Kapha is more predominant in the night time. Next is the Aganduja Shofa. In Aganduja Shofa, the causative factor itself is external, so that the dosha prabhava happens secondarily. So the manifestation will happen first and next the dosha gets involved. Abhigadena shastradi cheda bheda kshadadivihi hima anila udadhyanile ballada kapikachujaihi rasai shugaischa samsparshat shvaidhusya visarpavan brishoshma lohida bhasa prayasha pitta rakshanaha. So whenever there is a trauma due to abhigada with shastradi etc., bheda and kshatas, then particular wind from particular directions, that is why himanila, that is cold wind, and udadhyanile, then factors like balladaka and kabikachu exposure, and rasai shugaischa samspashat, so that if there is exposure of the skin to various toxic substances, then there will be Shvayathu, and it is Visarpavan, it's rapidly spreading swelling, and the features will be Ushma, that is a hot reddish discoloration will be there, and most of the Shofa will have Pitta Pradhana Lakshanas. So this is Aganduja Shofa. So this is a patient who has been exposed to Balladaka and a typical Aganduja Shofa. Next is Vishaja Shofa. Vishajaha Savisha Prani Parisarpana Modra. Again, this has to be considered something under Aganduja itself, but because of the specificity in the treatment, so that we have to add Vishahara treatment as well along with the management. That is why this has been told as an additional type of Shofa. So Visha Prani Parisarpana Motrana, to expose her to the Prani by bite or its urine. So that is why Damshra Danda Nakhavada Avisha Pranina maybe. So in some cases even non-toxic insects can also cause this. Vin Mutra Shukrobahada Malavad Vastra Sangarat. So if the person uses a dress which is contaminated with the toxins of these insects, then Visha Vriksha Anila Sparshat Gara Yoga Avachurnanat. Again, as told in Aganduja, exposure to Visha Vriksha, then Anila Sparshat, then Gara also, Gara Yoga Avachurnanat. So intake of Gara Visha also leads to Shofa. And typical Shofa Lakshana will be Mrudu, Chala, Avalambi, hanging. So Mrudu and Chala, and Shigro, Daha Rujagara. There will be Shigra, Daha and Rujagara. So that is regarding Vishaja Shofa. Next is the Sadhya Sadhyata. Yo Madhya Deshe Shoidu Sa Kashta Sarvagasya. If the Shofa is predominant in the Madhya Pradesha, example, Udara is a best example of Shofa that happens in the Madhya Sharira. Ardhange Rishta Budasya Yascha Urdam Parisarpadi. If a patient starts developing Shofa in the Ardhanga and slowly it goes upwards, then also, and if the patient is as associated Arishta Lakshanas, then also you have to think that the patient is not treatable. And if the patient with Shofa has features like Shwasa, Pipasa, Chardi, Daurbalya and Jwara and Aruji, Yasya Channe Arujir Nasti, Shwayadam Tam Vivarjit. Such Shofa patient should be avoided, not taken for treatment. This is another Sadhya Sadhyata from Madhavadana. Ananyo Ubhadravagrata Shodha Pada Samuktidaha. So if the patient has a Shofa which is associated with Ubhadravas, and if it starts from Pada, Purusham. So in case of Purusha, if it starts from Pada, Nari incha Mukhajo. And if the Shofa starts from Mukha in Nari, and Guhya Jo Dvayam in Guhya Pradesha, if it starts from Guhya Pradesha in both male and female, then also it's Asadhya. And Navo Anubhadrava Shodha, if the Shofa is of recent onset and without Ubhadravas, then also then it's Sadhya, and otherwise it is Asadhya. Then again he says Vivarjet Kukshi Udara Asridamcha Tadha Gale Marmani Samsridamcha Stula Kharaschabi Bhavet Vivarjo Yaschabi Bala Stavira Abalana. So if the Shofa is Kukshi Udara Asrida, or if it is in places like Gala and other marmas, then Stula Shofa, Khara Shofa, then Shofa in case of Bala, Stavira is old age, and Abala, then also such Shofa is Asadhya. So we have learned the mechanism of edema as per the modern pathology. So edema can happen whenever there is an increased hydrostatic pressure, reduced plasma oncotic pressure, lymphatic obstruction, sodium and water retention, increased capillary permeability, and local tissue factors. So Shofa is a very big spectrum. So if you start assessing the patient, the causes of edema in a patient in terms of modern pathology, there are varied pathologies that can lead to edema as a predominant manifestation. So for example, increased hydrostatic pressure, as in case of venous insufficiency, there is congestion leading to increased pressure, and the fluid can extravasate from the vessels and cause edema in the area. In patients with cardiac failure, again there is increased hydrostatic pressure leading to edema. Reduced plasma oncotic pressure in case of hyperproteinemia. For example, if a patient has terminal stages of chronic kidney disease where excessive proteins are lost through the urine, then the patient develops hyperproteinemia. It can lead to edema. If the patient has liver failure, hyperproteinemia and edema. So there are so many causes for hyperproteinemia and edema. So there is reduced plasma oncotic pressure, lymphatic pressure obstruction, obviously in case of diseases like filariasis or any injury to the lymphatics due to surgery, or there are some familial disorders which can lead to lymphedema. So lymphatic obstruction is another cause. Sodium and water retention in case of renal failure, or any drugs that can cause sodium and water retention. There are so many other causes where it can lead to edema. Increased capillary permeability, as in case of inflammatory edema. So whenever there is inflammation, then there is increased capillary permeability. You take cases like septicemia where there is increased capillary permeability, then it can lead to edema. And then there are local tissue factors. For example, the periorbital area, the tissues are loosely fixed to the underlying tissues. So what happens is there can be accumulation of fluid. So that is why in case of renal failure we see periorbital edemas. So these are some of the important mechanisms that can lead to edema. One thing we have to keep in mind is there are various pathologies that has been that we can correlate to some of the modern pathologies. For example, a patient who has Shodha that starts from the Pada, usually we have seen in patients with a congestive cardiac failure, usually the initial presentation will be a dependent edema. So if the patient is ambulant, the patient has bilateral pedal edema, and later on as the pathology goes on and the cardiac failure worsens, then the patient may have Anasaka. In case of renal failure, we have seen that the edema usually starts in the face, and then it can go into a widespread edema. So I don't feel that there is any specificity for, as far as Pada Samutida Shofa in Purusha and Mugaja Shofa in Nari, but we can think about the prevalence of each of these pathologies in either sex. So that is one important thing. So whenever we deal with the Shofa, first thing that we have to see is if the patient has a localized one or a systemic one. So if it is a localized one, then we always go for identifying the localized pathologies like venous obstruction or lymphatic obstruction, or a localized inflammatory process like cellulitis, etc. But if the patient has a systemic edema, that means the patient has bilateral involvement and other body parts are also involved, then we have to always think about a systemic pathology like increased hydrostatic pressure, as in case of congestive cardiac failure, or hypertension. Then in case of hyperproteinemia or sodium and water retention, etc. So that is regarding Shofa. Shofa is a very big spectrum of disease, which can include a localized swelling, as in case of cellulitis, to anasaka, as in case of chronic kidney disease, cardiac failure, etc. So that is regarding Shofa.